let's just hear what Mr. Trudeau had to say when he made this surprise and I think desperate announcement.
Make sure we're fighting climate change in ways that supports all Canadians. That has been at the centre of our choices as a government for the past 8 years. Fight climate change while supporting Canadians in how we do it. So that is why today we are announcing a 3-year pause on the federal pollution price on heating oil.
Why do you suppose he wants a 3-year pause on the carbon tax in this particular area? Is it because he's been hearing from members of the Liberal caucus who are scared to death about losing their seats in the next election? Listen to a Newfoundland Liberal by the name of Ken MacDonald. A couple of weeks ago, he explained why he voted in favor of a Conservative motion to axe the tax, because he's desperate about his seat. And let's hear what Ken MacDonald had to say.
Where I go, people come up to me and say, you know, we're losing faith in the Liberal Party. They appreciate the fact that I've stood up now twice to do away with a carbon tax or to ask for it to be delayed, and the home heating oil.
Right.
I think if that could be delayed and moved down the road, whether it be 4 months, 6 months or a year, that would allow things to settle and see where the affordability issue is at that time. We can't keep adding on to expenses. And David, you know that everything in our province comes in by boat and by truck, and they burn fuel, lots of it.
So give me a couple of years. He only asked for 2. Trudeau's giving him 3. But yeah, give me 2 years so we can prepare to win the next election. And we don't have to talk about carbon tax in Atlantic Canada. And that's what this is all about. I actually pointed that out the day after Ken MacDonald made this plea. And I said, clearly, this is about politics. He doesn't want to scrap the tax, not for good. No. We'll just push it into the future so we can win the next election. That's all it's about for these Liberals. That's all it's about for Justin Trudeau. And clearly, it's just a political ploy. I don't believe people are that stupid, because just wait. If he gets reelected, God forbid, but if he gets reelected, he will impose the carbon tax immediately again in all jurisdictions, in all areas. And it's even going to be worse than the quadruple carbon tax of 61 cents on every liter of gasoline. It will be higher because there's more to come. All he wants to do is win that next election. He can't lose Atlantic Canada. He's losing just about everywhere else in Canada. He needs that base to stay the same. But guess what? So you don't live in Atlantic Canada. So you're not going to get 3 years grace on your home heating oil. No carbon tax. But there's something for you too. Trudeau pulled something else out of his bag of tricks at this news conference. Let's hear what that was.
So that we can give everyone the time and ability to switch to heat pumps.
Heat pump. Marvelous.
Now, switching to an electric heat pump from oil heating, which is very vulnerable to volatile global market prices, can save people a lot of money. In fact, it can mean as much as thousands of dollars a year less spent on energy bills. So the second part of our announcement today is that, piloting in the Atlantic, we're working with provinces to install a free heat pump for people who are making at or below median household income. And to encourage people to sign up for the change, we're providing a $250 incentive payment. That's money in your pocket right now. Yeah, you didn't know about that one, guys. And for everyone else?
Yeah, everybody else, just imagine, $250 in your pocket. But do you know how much these heat pumps cost? Let's have a look. because Justin's not telling us the whole truth once again. Have a look at these statistics. $20,000 US to get them installed, plus the cost of the pump and to get it installed. God only knows what the whole cost is going to be, but at least $20,000 US. They are not carbon neutral, even if that's a nonsense word. It's a weasel word, weasel phrase. But here's the kicker. They don't really work very well in climates that are below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about minus 10 Celsius. So forget it. So if you live in Tampa, Florida, probably a good solution for you. If you live in most places in Canada in the winter, from the Atlantic to Alberta, and the interior of BC, where it gets a lot colder than minus 10, it goes down to minus 40 in February, and usually stays around minus 20 for much of January and much of February. Your heat pump's not going to be working too well. In fact, you probably wasted your money. But Trudeau's got the gall to say, he'll give you one of these free if your household income is at or below the median. So really what he's saying, if you're below the poverty line, we'll buy you a heat pump. But if you're below the poverty line, you probably won't need a heat pump and you won't buy one because you won't be owning your own house. So I think he's got this one figured out. And you really think you're going to save that much money over the next, 30 years to pay for your heat pump? This is just incredibly cynical. This is just absolutely cynical politics. But Trudeau thinks he can get away with this. And it's just outrageous. So, you have to wonder what he's thinking. Let's listen to what Pierre Poilievre has to say about this, because I think this is quite interesting.
Justin Trudeau is in total panic mode. Now, what caused this sudden press conference that he cobbled together on Parliament Hill with little notice? Was it because he was concerned at the 78% increase in food bank use under his watch? No. Was it because he worried that 1.9 million visits had to happen to in a single month to food banks because Canadians could not feed themselves after 8 years of his leadership? No. Was it because he's worried that scurvy is making a comeback after 8 years of his government's taxes and inflationary policies? No, that didn't worry him either. Was it because he was worried that he doubled the cost of housing, or that these homeless encampments are becoming common right across the country? That wasn't his concern either. What caused Justin Trudeau to freak out yesterday and hold a sudden press conference to announce that he was going to pause the carbon tax on home heating oil? The answer is that he was plummeting in the polls. But what does this announcement really mean? Well, one, Trudeau and the Liberals are still going to go ahead with a carbon tax on your gas and groceries, a tax they plan to quadruple to 61 cents a liter. Two, Justin Trudeau announced yesterday that if you re-elect him, he will put the tax back on your home heating oil. Three, he says, don't worry, he'll send you $11 more in the mail. $11. These days, that's a few cups of coffee. Who's going to feed themselves on $11? While he drives up the cost of the gas and diesel that you put in your car, the fuel that goes into the boats of our fishermen and into the tractors of our farmers, which will drive up the cost of all the food we bring home. That's what you're voting for if you keep Justin Trudeau or the local Atlantic Canadian Liberals elected.
Yeah, that's what you're getting. And I think Poilievre said it very succinctly. This is all a cynical political move, and it's all about just getting reelected in 2 years' time. And it's absolutely outrageous. And I say Trudeau will not get away with this because people in Atlantic Canada are not that stupid, and they know he's going to come back with a vengeance as soon as they vote him in again. So don't believe a word this man says. And would you trust Justin Trudeau to manage your household costs? I mean, do you really think it's viable for Justin Trudeau to suggest you're going to save so much money in heating costs with your heat pump, it's going to pay for itself? This guy is just out of this world in terms of mendacity and never leveling with the voters. It's all about staying in power, isn't it, Justin?
Hi, this is David Crayden from Crayden's Right and Stand on Guard. Join the resistance. Resolve to resist. Become a member of this station. I've been practicing journalism in one form or another for over 30 years. I've worked in print, radio, and television for a lot of prestigious publications and media outlets. I was an Armed Forces Public Affairs officer. I worked in Parliament Hill. I know how Ottawa works, and I know how corrupt federal government can be. But you can play a part in opposing Justin Trudeau's government and Justin Trudeau's plans for Canada. You can become a part of the Crayden's Right resistance. Now, I urge you today, please support this station in any way you can. Ring that bell, subscribe, because that ensures you're at least going to continue to be able to watch these episodes. You'll beat the algorithm. But more importantly, I need your financial support. I hate to ask, but that's what I'm doing. I made a decision to pursue independent media because I believed it was the best possible route for me to take as a journalist and as a concerned citizen of Canada. So you can become a part of that. And at only $5, you can become a part of that on YouTube, on Substack, and with Buy Me a Coffee, a one-time donation. But I need your support. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. If you've already done that, if you're already supporting the station, thank you. But if you haven't, make that decision today